Obutabo.
But even the first time I came here, I was working with a book.
The kera obutabo.
Wachi.
Ojafuna obuzibu bwa bwerere.
Ngo buliwa.
Nze nkubuulira.
Tell me, give me a hint.
Wamaron tuteredde bulungi awo. Leero tugenda kwogera ku BEBE syndrome. Gwe wagireese. Ogenda kusooka oginnyonnyola abantu kyeki. Okitegedde? Then tutandi and how it has affected the people.
Yeah.
Gwe wasazeewo giyita BEBE syndrome.
Gwe wadde ogiyita oti?
Nze sigimanyi sigimanyi. Kasita gwogireese ogitunnyonnyola. So here it.
Omukyala omu ku bakyala 8 abali eyo abandaba ali mu katyabaga k'okufuna kookolo w'amabeere. Gwe naawe n'omwagalwawo ne bannyinaabo bali mu katyabaga k'obulwadde buno. Kyazuulibwa nti ebitundu 56 ku buli 100 eby'abakyala bafa kookolo abasinga bafudde kookolo w'amabeere. Faba Eric Cancer Initiative tuvuddeyo okubangula abakyala nga bakozesa okwekebera ewaka ebbeere lyabwe nga bazuula obubonero amangu obusobola okuteeka mu katyabaga k'okufuna kookolo w'amabeere. Obadde okimanyi nti osobola okikola ng'oli wakaawo okunyiga ebbeere n'ozuula akayinja kalirimu amasira agavaamu oba sayizi ebeekyuse ekisobola okukuteeka mu katyabaga k'okufuna kookolo. Okuzuula amangu kitaasa obulamu bwo. Twegatteko ng'okuba ku ssimu yaffe wansi tukusomese tukubangula steps ezisobola okutaasa obulamu bwo. Weewaawo n'okutugoberera ku mitimbagano gya Facebook, Instagram ne Twitter okufuna information ekwatagana ku bulwadde buno.
Is ordering your stock from China, Turkey and Dubai stressing you so much? Is it taking you months and months for you to get your stock? Just 1, 2, 3 and trade like a boss you are. 1. Talk to Iran Global Logistics on 0740 152 331. 2. Let us know whether it's sourcing or sending money to a supplier that you would want. 3. Enjoy our unmatched customer service. Trade like a boss with Ryan Global Logistics. Find us at Nabugabo Street, BBC Building, Room N412. Call us on +256 740 152 331 or +86 180 723 935 15 or +86 132 502 156 85 or visit our website on www.rangloballogistics.biz. Rand Global Air Express Cargo. We move anything, anywhere.
So welcome to yet another edition of Kasuku Live. I'm with Mariam, the beautiful Mariam. Why? Because terms and conditions now apply. Yes. So, Nine Mariam, how are you, Mariam?
I'm good, Kuku.
How is life? How is life?
Okay. It's good.
So,
Abatulaba Kasuku Live, I'm glad to be back here.
Yes.
Chansubire muna muli bulungi mukama abakomi abaradde mukama abasuuse.
Yeah. So kiri ekiramusoto kituwadde.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam. Awo wenkoma. Twina lemfai kati bano batubangi it looks good.
Also this is product placement.
This is product placement. Orongoma ya chana ate yeyongerayo. Wachitegedde. So we have lemfai, they do international payments for everyone. That is Canada, USA, America to Uganda. We have a 30% cashback every time you download the app and do your first transaction. And then we also have the promo code Kasuku. Bruno is a promo code Kasuku. Atenso urokubaira nga mfuna chi sente. So every time you want to transact using Lemfi, kozesa promo code Kasuku. Water bills, electricity bills, wedding meeting pledges, hospital bills, all the bills. Nayagala okumperezayo obuweereza oyinza oga nti Kasuku, my first transaction on Lemfi, as after you've downloaded the app, jozogiraba Lemfi. Noga nti
that's a collective growth by the
yeah,
so
noga nti
tufunamo Kasuku
exactly
yeah.
so okusalawo noga nti Kasuku, I want to send you like $100 kandi abo bakikola nga benjagala
to Mariam.
Yeah, well, that's also possible. It's all gitambula. We also have our slimming tea, Monia slimming tea. Tugamba nti beera nga omwefunira gwe ayagala okusala omugejjo. Tulina package eriko detox, then the actual slimming tea. So you detox before you go to bed, and then in the morning before you take anything, you take the slimming tea, and then okulaba nti. Now, saagala oddeeyo olowooze nti kikola automatically. The thing is, you have to check what you eat, and you have to work out. So bino into see magic, see science, ali awo nti watabbu nnyo. These are natural processes that you have to go through to make sure that you get to the right size that you want. So grab yourself Monia slimming tea. Tulina ne bannaffe aba Park on Time Tours and Travel. Bano bagamba nti gwe agende Dubai ayagala okubeera nti bakukolera ku nsonga zo eze Dubai. Visa balina gye bayita freelance visa, osobola ofuna visa nga ya 60 days, osobola ofuna visa nga ya 2 years e Dubai. They also bakola air ticketing. Obeera eyo, you want to travel, bagamba nti kati waliwo rate gye tulabye sente tiketi zasse n'osasula kati vojo sasula mu December. Nga ticket eri high. Yes, so they are accredited to do air ticketing. So you can always get in touch with them. Numbers are ziri awo wansi. Bannaffe aba Park on Time Tours and Travel. Kintu basobola okubeera nga bakuyamba okikwasaganya. Abalala ajja kuba nkomawo nabo mu maaso awo nyongera okuba nga makunyonyola. Mariam,
yes,
you told me we have gye bayita BEBE syndrome. What is the BEBE syndrome?
So, like back in the day, twasoma n'omwana wa BEBE Alan. Ne Bobi Wine yayina kazini we bali bamuyita Keke. So Alan oyo like were contesting for leadership. He got it on, you know, on credits of the fact that he was a son to the big man. Natuimbirama on this abutisi papa. Oh my goodness, those days.
Which school is this we are talking about?
Kawempe Muslim.
Kawempe Muslim. Hey, Alan je yasomera. Oh. So nga tata wajjawo.
I've never seen that dad naye hamazajjanga. So nga bakola zi battle, waliwo bakola battle between him ne Keke, the cousin of Bobi Wine. It was at the pitch. Oh my God, it was one of those experiences that we had as we were growing. Yeah. So the reason why, like, so it leads to why it's a syndrome of its own. Olaba kati fenga ba Gen Zs and millennials, ebintu ebitusumbuwa, even in psychology, it's somehow attached to lifestyle. Ebintu that we adopt, leading to decisions and how it affects us mumasao. So punange, Alan was that kind of person. He was very interesting. Bamwana entertainment prefect. He had it all. He had all the fun. Actually, I even remember he had 2 girlfriends. Ololmuku Valentine. Yakola packages biri. One girl was in S3 and another girl was in another stream. So it brought a lot of, you know, noise, but, you know, for him was having the shine of being a child to the star. So, and out of now that, Nafe, Abamu, abagoberera BEBE Cool, even through his son, we used to listen to his music. And besides the music, now lifestyle neyingiramu. No banga you
want to live like.
Yes. Remember there was a time BEBE Cool yafulu myaka yimba and Bobi Wine we are following I think a song around the same time. Nengo buyimba bwa Bobi Wine, for us we used to find them like they're off. Yeah. About vulgar, about his
because for some time BEBE Cool represented the rich kids.
Yes.
Then Bobi Wine represented the hustlers and the ghetto kids. Yes. So very many people at the time were BEBE Cool fans. Yes. Because well they came from moderately good
Yes,
families
yeah.
and, you know,
Yeah.
all that,
What we
yes.
used to call like the planned child.
Yes,
So
yes.
even KK was a footballer, remember? So era olaba mababana a clat of children balinga ba ballers, they are sponsored. So we used to look at them like, okay, yeah, but no. So there was that boundary you couldn't cross at that time. Kati, of course, Wokulanga, you have that kind of privilege. You start to think that things will come out your way.
Yeah.
Because therefore, if we put in the work, and when we excel, sometimes we don't. But ngolaba, like, you know, we have that line, that boundary you don't cross. Kati tugenda okukula eno twali tumanyi bataata baffe. Babebe cool byebali oba byeba planting and naffe tujja bisikira automatically.
Yeah, yeah.
Unfortunately, things turned out very totally different.
Yeah.
And then we started to, you know, to see life for what it really is. Meanwhile, Banaba Bobby Wine, because they come from the hustle culture and struggling, they face life as is. Irabali bakola, they used to work, abambali besa sudi, like they used to, you know, even to be a pocket change, tebyadinga byango, but you could see they could save their money, or, you know, they'll go, the ballers would go and play, and, you know, they would facilitate, and then they have that good life. Nekati fetwa agenda okufulu mesomero ng'ebintu biri so totally different. You can easily bakuba, you can easily find a very bad relationship. Katatora kuba trying that boundary. Even when it came to relationships, we used to think like bandu strugglers, they tebana chebatugamba. Kati mubanga tebana chebatugamba, we used to think that banaba bebe cool side, they're the ones we should hang out with, they're the ones we should coordinate with. But muba bebe cool side we come from like mostly dysfunctioning families. So netubanga tulina ebintu ebyatukosanga, but we couldn't speak about them. Yet ngoli basi bakuchunga che ne banywa ne bakuba juice, and then they talk about their issues and you know the mama, oh, you're going through the same. Negative. We had silent problems. No wonder we had the silent majorities. So netukulanga, we have those challenges. Nezibam addictions. Netuberanga, like you're not very close within the family.
Because you one more public, you want to keep the planned kid stuff.
Standards, status,
yeah,
prestige.
But so you cannot unveil what is going on.
Yes,
and we are having it today.
Exactly.
On surface, well, they may not be coming from that good families, but they've been able to somehow attain that social status of I live in a good apartment, I drive a moderately ish car, okay, I can afford Uber, I can't take a judge anymore, I do my nails on social media, everything all looks gloomy, but then the real story back home is different.
Yes. So we have that dysfunctionality mufe era mwalingamu addictions oba mulimu, you know, mulimu authoritative family over the fathers, noesanga nga mulimu like conflicts, nga mulimu violence. So nenga you can't come out to speak about those things. Nenga ono mwana like eno side ya hustlers osanga guy na kusekeramu, and then you know you open up a conversation. Nenga laba his life is chilla. Then for you are really struggling.
Kuba yali mu life ya hustle you know ya bulijjo.
And for them it's a repetition of hustle culture. You don't know balawanga, even when they're putting out music right now, you see there is a trail of work put there. Nekati feba Alans, you'll be there, ngomani is going to automatic obujibuja like enzijizija kwegula nezitegula, and then you're like, but you're baby cool son, you know, but outside there you're not being, you know, you're not getting that clash of the light. So and then you're like, okay, now this is reality. Now push has come to shove. How am I going about this? Then you start to fall back. You fell into addictions. Relationships are not working out. Even kumiri mubatu goba, because we work in corporate cultures, but then you got to realize that you have to work on a certain code. Atenga you were used to something totally different. Like even in what culture, like in corporate cultures, work politics go a little money. Sometimes you used to be naive. Sometimes you used to like get into go and it's colored, like it's white and black, yet there are lots of colors there. So us with a planned child, we are really like, it's like we were lied to. The life is so totally different. Naye, amidst all that, okumanya life has a way life correcting itself. I was saying something, and you know, like in you know, in psychology, we look at patterns. No gamba na ye. Okay, this came as a marketing strategy, but why would Lily Paso come out na zuksa someone like Irene Ntale? Because for them, when they're doing their things, they are body life yenyini. Then for us, we are moving by a manual. We are working by theory, and then you're like, okay, something is not working out. No can movie volo even concerts. When you look at Tony Mbazira Ngola, those are the people that are, because they bring out humor. They connect. Katatefe will just communicate. So Netwesanga we have to go back to, you know, to the drawing board. That even in relationships, still again, you will look at Farida Nakazwe. He got that scammer, that guy from Dubai, who however he scammed him. Because for us, when we were in families, we never knew to relationships.
Omuntu asobola kuferera mulavu.
Osobola kumeeting a narcissist. Osobola kuklekenge ebintu bena tetubimanyi. Era abamu twesanze nga we are even single mothers nenga tetwali badde if we knew these things for what they really are. So basically
the planned kids are not being trained enough. Oba bachina that entitlement, that thing of for us we are the ish. Kati agenda okujeno mu reality. Ngense kubobonga.
I know.
Okitegera. Ate nabeera nga yakyasigala kyayagala okubeera eno waggulu.
Yes. Nga kuba kati ogenda okusanga ogenda tunulamu nga bawala abali nga like coming from maybe not well to do, struggling. Ninga sawa zineno nga yakubalira yakudirecting, because now for us abava in these other families there's a BEBE syndrome. We have because of the dysfunctionalities as idiom, we have some issues that need even therapy. We have codependency issues. No beranga, you can't even leave home. By the way, even NSSF director Lomuya Yegera nagamba nti tulina okukolera abana ba pension. You have to have your command, because abana baffe tebakyava waka. Most millennials that are coming from that other side, urban families, they have that problem that we have a lot of codependence. Not until you lose a father or a relative, and then you're like, okay, now what do I do? And on the other side, but strugglers, you want to compete with them, but the way they make their money, they get laid. They get money off sex, and for you, you're not even used to that. Even again, to dysfunctionalities is that now for us, the girl child, to like mostly there is a chunk majority that have been sexually assaulted by either family members or friends. You even get stories into they were drugged up in their drinks or in their what, because they so those are the things that a candidate day or having that insight. I was on a certain radio Galaxy. So because my niche is majorly men, I had a sit down with so many of them. They come from that. They have made their lives from the struggling. Bobby wine, Nenga for them, you see the relationships are just their problems would be like Chiki na Musasuli de University na ya Kolabino. That on our end, you hear something like that and you're like, how come? Because Banabana Tebamala, their education, they went into a hustle, they hustled and they made their money. Now they are now, they have some bit of dominance kubawala, because if you have the money, you have the dominance. Yes. You can even state what you want. Yet on our side, we have modern feminism. Mr. Chamagero, last time we were like work culture came at him, banged at him, because it is so concocted to be live. So now relationships are for kukola wesanganga oinayo lili puzzle. And he makes your life straight. Yeah. And you like nakujane waka.
So how does BEBE come into this?
It's a BEBE syndrome.
Yes.
Now when I look at BEBE as him,
yes,
look at him as someone who was coming from Bidandi Sali family. Now even I myself, my family comes from that line of huge politics. But then when
well to do,
yes.
Let us brand it as well to do. Yes.
Yes.
Kuba muntu ajja kumbuuza kati BEBE yajiddemu wa.
like kati cause okay, let's say well to do. Ngobulamu we bwali wa kubanga erinnya lya Bebe Cool liva ku it stems from Bidandi Sally. Then there is a Bebe Cool era. Bebe Cool era who was kind of also disappointed at a certain point in time. Nay, he went ahead because he chose entertainment. He chose his passion over like the land culture.
Yes.
Kati ate Bebe Cool wa kolachi nazimba lifestyle ye neja nafe kufe like the Genesis and the millennials per music, per art, because art drives the narrative.
So in other words, for what you're trying to say,
yeah,
Bebe Cool is an example, of
yeah,
what most millennials or Gen Zs could ideally have wanted to be.
Because I've told you
that he comes from a rich family. He looks nice. He like most people want to be that. He looks urban and you know all that ish. However, in wanting to look like him, the reality is different.
Exactly. So that's what I call the Bebe Cool syndrome. Because even now, as you see, Mr. Kuku, what meant if you struggle to be together. But we are about to kalakasa, we want to change, but for us, we're not like, okay, we're just observing, and you're like, But now, push has come to shelf. Nti ogenda labamu ngomuzaddewo enyumba ye bagimututeko, business ze bazimututeko, amabanja gamulya, and you're like, okay, now struggle. That abamu, and you're like, okay. Spy again and again, maybe you're next, and you're like, okay, now I can relate. Nti echitulese now kubanti okay, to be struggle now. We also need to be part of that change. It's because now nafe tulabanga we're into the financial burdens because we're gonna corporate work culture.
The reality kati eriwo has pushed us. Kuba some time back nali ngamba abantu, and it's good to have this discussion. Benayogera abantu ne bangamba wa kasuku gwomala gogera nti tudde buli muntu ayagala ku associating ne ghetto because somehow Bobby Wine made it cool. After he did his music and what, then he got these presidential ambitions and what. So it became cool to identify with the ghetto because it sells a story that I've been down there and hey guys, now I've made it. So nagenda owulira buli muyimbi nalomune Navio yangamba, you know me, I suffered, nemugamba Navio lekerawo, komaawo jatuleetera entondo. Yeah. So that's basically the Bebe Cool syndrome.
That's the Bebe Cool syndrome. That the planned kids, things were planned at that time because we were dependent on our parents. Now we have to foot the bills.
Yes.
Now we have to take children to schools. We don't have that phase. Then you're like, but you know you have that dysfunctionally think. You're like, okay, now what do? I have to go back to my parents, to my father's authoritative ways, so that I can sort of kind of.
And I think to add to that, abo abasinga be bali mu mbeera ya, most of them have the strength of a big family name. Yeah. So batusumbuye nnyo mu kibuga wano. Nze nakulira Ntinda. Nakulira wa Muyenga. Nomuga nti okay kale je wakulira kati oyina ki?
Chicho, what are you bringing on the table?
Ngatasola kiraga.
Ngatewali kuku, ngatewali ngotuko mugamba oba ogendeke ngokube obwakadama ate like
nze sikola kyeyo
balanda babatya
nze sikola kyeyo
kuba kati olaba ne businesses zireta sente wano e Uganda bye twasoma si bye tukola.
Yes.
Ogenda okulaba, I for one nze I will speak for myself, nze I made money mu network marketing, but I wasn't like in the pyramid. I was just selling the products because that's my background. Naye ngate before that natunda kogundi salad master, those cooking systems is really very expensive. Nothing's as expensive as those systems. Nature nyambako kulaba nti okay, this is life yabantu who are ultra rich, but not about the dysfunctionality, because it has brought depression, anxieties, or would it have been to you hear things, Mr. Kuku, and you're like, do these things really happen? Now on the girl side, now breaking it again when it comes to gender, most of us twina issues like only but they can't even talk about them because by na chebakuuma most of them have been sexually harassed, sexually assaulted. They are there. I've met them, I've spoken with them, and you're like, what? But because they have to keep up with that, now they start to become as wild as you see. They start to take drugs, they start to they start to fail out on their relationships, their marriages break up so easily, and you're like, but there is waliwo ekintu ng'ekintu oba tokyogeddeeko, you have not healed, you have not sought therapy. It's eating you up.
It's eating you up.
Yes. Then when you look at the boys that become weak and every time.
What do you mean by weak?
As in, like, they can't stand on their own, because at home there is a mommy's boy. Then there is daddy. That is so mukambwe muzibu. Mama ye afuelinga the bad habits of the son. Kati son natuke no ngate siwe bitowe bikola. Ngasiwe bitowe bikola lusinga ne sente, they have to go and steal. And I think this thing is, you know, this, we have global challenges. Someone might be like, but Mariam, but it's everywhere. You look at abantu ababonabonanga 50 Cent, the ones who are owning their own labels. Then what maybe who have made it like that maybe things would have been a little bit easier for them. Like the likes of Justin Bieber's, things they're even struggling. Yeah.
That now, right now, 50 Cent owns a film company. Is it?
Yeah, he has a film company.
From the hustle, and you know.
Yes, because I've even read his books. But you see, we are living the life of perception. You know, last time we spoke about, try to remember about something like, you're not living a life anymore of perception. You are living a real life. But you could get brands labels. Let's say like maybe Swang's Avenue or something. You know, backstage you're not making the money. The monies are not meeting, and you're like, now what do I do?
No,
let me go to start up my own thing and so just be myself.
Most people are living by perception and impression today. Eyo gyamalizango yise BEBE call syndrome. Lwakuba sitegedde bulungi why you had to call it the BEBE call syndrome.
BEBE calls, but don't you know that Alan is an addict or a recovery? Allegedly. You didn't know that?
Is he?
He is. He is. That's what I'm trying to show you here. Because music is.
But there is
a psychological.
Alan went into rehab.
He did.
Why? He did drugs.
Yeah, frustrations. You are putting out music, people are not embracing it. Other kinds of music, it's not relatable. Omana video akubi enkudi gochari mo A-pass kinda, lavish glamour, and you're like, when will I reach Nigeria? Where will I get? When will Universal Records enroll me in and?
Nayaga mawulire go to what day? We are going to have a field day. The rumor has been doing rounds, but we didn't know. He went into rehab.
Those silent battles, because when you don't really seek the help and healing you need, you start to be like insane.
Wasi yabadde afumirira ebintu ebyo ebinajjanga bituufu agenda kuddawo abantu. Bagenda mulya soup.
Yet on the other end, when you look at Bobby Wine and his lifestyle, because Bobby Wine now simuntu, like tumwambaza character, tumwambaza like the whole character, and then Gambia, like, I've broken it down for you into lifestyle. Like Bobby Wine. I think some of us were like, Bobby Wine was like, no. Bachagulani was like, yeah, because now he rebranded, became a leader, and he's really influenced so many things. Because now we are feeling the heat. Everyone is feeling the heat. Yeah. You can't meet twins unless you overcome, like, you have to like, I don't know. That's why we have a lot of mental health issues, by the way.
Today.
Especially on the other side. Because
so but planned kids bayina silent battles. Zebarwana. Then of course nga bwe bagenda bakula ebintu bikyuka ate ne batakkiriza mango reality. Kati bano betuyita ebiyenje. Ate bo babeera already bali ku haso. Nga haso bagigoba. Ebintu ebyo byatutuukako tulina kyali waffe ye owetwamala senior 6. n'ayingira owino okitegeera wuuyo agenze ku koosi buno bukoosi bu diploma nga bwahasolinga abantu bagenda omala university 3 years later omuyenga yakola bizinensi ye yeeyiribira okitegeera n'agula ettaka tugenda otandika okugejjamu ezo engagements ng'ate yalina emmotoka naye nga remember at the time it was always cool ye alimu owino ali ku diploma ffe tuli ku university tuli mu hostel we are doing degrees, you know. So emboozi ng'ebeera nnyo ng'emboozi ebeera nnyo awo gwe tolina degree tokola booti naye nga ina kukyosezi kati abantu bagenda okurealizinga nti ate oli kye yaliko kye kituufu nga gayi 5 years after campus guys have not hooked jobs bakyali kuwanze mbeera waffe sola kola ebintu myabo windo biki guy built already his own house has rentals has his own cars and he's now back to university to pursue a degree nadayo nasoma degree nasoma masters kati ate nagenda nayigira ali mu national oil company kati ate n'atuluma ne mu space eno ffe gye twali tulowooza nti ye yaffe.
So yeah, there's a guy, he's a crypto master here. It's some story. He put it aside. N'agamba degree kasoke njiteko wali kanjiribe n'agenda owino na
kati nkube ground.
That's when he met some guy from Nigeria na amita mubine bya crypto bisede ebyo ngechali, you know, ngechali legit. Right now first of all posh, like he's living the real life in Zelumu. Wala no campaign yokujjawo like fraud kati namutwala ko like owabakama bange and then he was like, me, I have no problem, like I'm willing to fund a campaign of 1 million USD. But even MTN can't move such a budget. And I was like, I'm willing and I'm ready for that. That katotukanga otulira guy nogama ye
ate mugumu ali mulaba nti kiyenje. Oh.
So but also so now some solutions is that we should like now kind of sort of stop looking at people from clutters to balebe for who they are because omuntu wona koma okumwogerera like omulabira like still nga olaba like PLU now oba nope. Still there is a level of lifestyle mwatu kijjanya nnyo mwatumanyira nnyo now it's our time tola bavuma tebeddiza like omuntu akuvuma ku gundi ku social media and you're like nayono
namukola ki seated rooted bitterness because you know maybe we treated them a certain kind of way, you rejected them, now they have it and now they have the money because watunuri until 70% or we are like the youths but which are the but what kind of youths are running or are dominating the different sectors. They don't get no labanga beba bantu abahasolinga ennyo, they put in their time, it was repetition of giving in work every time and then now they're the ones who are giving us jobs. So there is a bit of grace to show each other towards each other as we seek therapy. Yeah, but I think also as we raise our children, now the discussion now moves to parenting.
Yes.
How do we parent? How do we prepare our children to face the realities of life? That okubanyonyola nti here you may be having a good time. How do you attack life? Yeah. Anyway. Mariam agiyise BEBE cool syndrome, which ngezezaako nnyo kijjayo walire. I don't know exactly why she calls it the BEBE cool syndrome. But you who is seeing, you can try to relate.
You can relate.
Because BEBE cool comes from a rich family, but he took his own line and he hustled his way.
Didn't you hear a story whereby like BEBE cool fell sick, but it was Museveni who went and extended help? It's a whole collective issues of dysfunctionality families. It has all get dead characters of dysfunctionalities, more addictions, violence, conflict, authoritative, emotionally detached families. Ngomwana like they have everything, they take her to school, which they're totally in sync.
I think for me, the story is now between the planned or the rich and the poor. How do we chase life? nti abagagga tulina engeri gye tukozezaamu abaana baffe nga tubavuga bwe tuti ne tutabategeka bulungi ate ne tubeera n'ebizibu byaffe nga tubikuuma nnyo eno kati ate bba abaavu bakuza abaana baabwe ng'ekintu kiri kiriya teweesiriwaza kwata oluyi gwe ekyo tokikola obuwanga tebukkiriza kino so kati bagenda otutuuka eri eyandibadde nga jump point kati buli omu atandika obulamu bwe nga byanjawulo eno waliyo entitlement taata nga ananyamba siba biki agenda la reality siba ekiri ate ono ye agamba bannaffe tuli banaku tugobe ensi tutambule okitegeera but anyway we shall phrase it the BEBE call syndrome ekyokukola tewali but I hope you get the message guys. It's sad and it's real, and we need to embrace it.
Because I've given you an example even of art. Look at art for what it is right now.
Yeah.
If you look clearly very well, tunuli abantu abaina a push bavawa. Are they coming from the biblical side, like biblical lifestyle, or bebantu bebafik fameka balinti they were not meant to be, now they are, you know. So that kind of
behavior
in between there, in between those people, the other, the baita hybrids. But now for you are a hybrid. Hybrid, you're muntunga. They can mix up with different people and they still be nasigala tambula era abantu abamu oluusi ne bakulaba nga oyogedde something and they're like, okay, is relatable to our side, then is also relatable to our side. Ngenaku yali agibaddemu n'obugaga nga they know how to mitigate situations. Yes.
Typically me.
Yes.
Typically me. Anyway.
Me too, I'm a hybrid, so I know how to deal with those kinds of situations.
Embozi yeyo bannange ebintu tubitegeere, especially now us who are raising children. Get to understand n'abalala abali eyo the younger abajja. Embozi eno nfuna kyogifunamu kuba bano abantu betuyita abanaku batabuse. Ensi bagikutte n'amaanyi bayiseewo ffe tulowooza tatange yalina ssente banzaalira eno byembozi zetunyumya naye bakubuuza nti mukama wange gw'olina kaki ng'otandika nze ffe waffe tuli bagagga naye ekizibu be kikugwira n'ewammwe tosobola kuddayo oba okitegeera naye ng'otunyumiza ebyo so twechekinge tulabe ekintu we tukitereeza.
Yeah, because there are people that come, there are people who seek consult. Okay. But on the BEBE one side, they are also seek consultation. Because I heard a story of a guy, and those are the things that actually make me appreciate people for who they are. Labels.
Yeah.
Guy yaja nangamba naliva ku Galaxy nangamba nti aina chiki gwe yafuna amwagala, but surprisingly the father wanted the girl to marry another guy.
Yeah.
Naye nga omuwala tayagala takonsentize, so guy tata nakola olukwe ono guy na ito omuwala oba in a guest house. Unfortunately oli guy nakwata omuwala kati mukumukwata namufunisa olubuto era nakomawo nagamba nti nze omukazi wange mwagala era nyagala batugatte. Then I looked at this guy who was telling me all this. But this guy, in my head, I'm like, few men can really stand up for a woman who has been touched. They can still hold that lady with treasure and respect. Yeah, he's willing to bring that girl for therapy. He's willing to take this girl back to school. He's willing to heal with her and move life together with her. Nenge no dysfunctionalities. That's so bad. Could treat obalaba. Simanya tofuna chiki, simanyanga as a single mother tofuna chiki, they have issues at home. Because for them they see things from that line. No, here in the struggling people or the hustlers, I would say, they are really embracing. They're really embracing. That's why in Kugambia, like you would sometimes fall short on certain situations. On other side, they know how to handle. But on the other side, I came up with this book. This is history of Islam in Uganda. I caught this book. I read it to the end. I'm so passionate about storytelling, and I'm so passionate, and I like to keep our African stories live and living. nga olabye ebintu ebigenda maaso kabaka eno sibichi. These are the stories ze tulina okumanya and embrace our ancestry. So history of Islam in Uganda eyogera on Islam, but also Buganda cultures and other cultures and Busoga and politics and everything.
Yeah.
So there are so many misinformation is there, but when you get this kind of information, it evokes some emotions, but also makes you appreciate all people for who they are. So Zanasalao that I make this book into audio. Like I narrate it, because our people don't read anymore. So they would rather listen to a book and then, they can pause and then go back. And then, they have a narrative. They have a narrative.
So you got permission?
Yeah, so the author here is Dr. Badru Hassan Seguja. He's in the USA. So we spoke with him, we agreed on everything. And he's like, yes, you can go ahead. So
you've translated it to audio?
So I'm in the whole process. And that's why I need our Kasuku viewers to support me.
Okay.
Yeah, to support me with everything they can so that we can wind up with a
get an audio book. Yeah.
So we want to go into production. So we need your help, guys, so that we can work on this book and put it out there and promote it and market it.
The history of Islam in Uganda.
Yeah.
So how do people get to you? Gabe number yesimu abantu bakubireko
070.
Ronyo jatterawo enamba eyo.
Thank you.
Yeah.
070.
Yeah.
2199455. Because walo guy yangamba Kasuku.
Soko deyo 070. Yes.
21
99 4
55.
No, I don't know why you read numbers like that. Can't you say like 0705?
Okay.
Why do you say 070?
Okay.
Okay, kati gwe ogambye eriki?
070 21
0702 1 99 4
55.
0702 199
455. Yes.
That's how they say the number.
I'm dyslexic, so
please, I don't like that. I've met so many people. So many number 070 no mugamba sebo.
I'm dyslexic, so my mathematics and my numbers are a little bit weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, the book is there. It's very rich information in here. And I believe someone, Nadala diaspora, they might benefit more because they're out of our lands here, so they can relate. Because someone told me, Kasuku, Yangamba is a Muganda friend of mine, Yangamba, and someone Yamugamba, you cast times 2. You cast being a Muganda, you cast being Msiram. So that thing really ate him up. And I was like, okay, so he's not the only one in this kind of situation whereby people think you are working with two curses. But it's not only for Muslims. Everyone can pick something because it has a bit of cultures, manya, clans, the kabakas. All the kabakas are put there, the schools, education, entalo.
This book aims at presenting the history of Islam in Uganda, the good and the bad times Islam has gone through since its inception. But they want to make this an audio book. Audio n'omanya akatabo kano konna. So support Mariam in number 2 Stadekao to make sure the production of this book into an audio book sees the light of day.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And I thank you, my clients. By the way, I have my clients from Kasuku Vambi. Thank you, guys. I appreciate. Majorly, they come for therapy. Men, because men are my audience. Yeah. So we are healing together. We are making relationships work because our whole goal is to preserve the family unit. Yeah. So thank you, guys.
Until next time. Mubeere bulungi mweraba.